Hey everybody, this is your girl Faye Renee. Welcome back to First Thoughts with Faye Renee Power, Book 3, Raising Canaan, Episode 6, Level Up. It's been 2 weeks. I was about to die. It's been 2 weeks since we've seen Power. Power took a 2-week break. This is Episode 6, Level Up, and there's only 4 more to go. And then we move on to Book 4, which is the big one with the monster man, the white boy, Tommy Gun Tommy. But today, we're going to tear into the 411 of Episode 6, Level Up. Let's do it. Hey, you guys, it's been 2 weeks. And remember, 2 weeks ago when we left off, Rock was up in her game big time and moving fast. She had got a new stash house and a little bodega store in town. And she had also rented 2 project apartments where she could stack them on top of each other so they could be aware when 5 was coming. But she's getting a little flack from the building manager, but more flack from the city inspector. So she got to meet with the city inspector today. Here we go. So Rock goes to the meeting that morning to meet the city inspector inside the apartment, and he tells her, this is a rental. Are you crazy? You can't move one fucking nail. You can't put a magnet on your refrigerator without checking with us. This is a rental. She says some old bullshit. Well, I'm a professional cook. I'm a chef, and I'm just trying to make a living for me and my son, and I just wanted to do some different things to make the apartment help me with my job. She makes these cutie pie faces, and he falls for it, and he says, well, check it out. You come along tonight. We can make a deal and work something out. Okay? Come along and we'll talk about it. And she says, okay. I smell stupid a mile away. Wow. Next. Mama Rock has to take care of a lot of business today. So she goes down to visit the bodega where her new stash house is. And she talks to the owner's wife, who's obviously been beaten up by her husband. Her face is all messed up. And Rock says, hey, I need to talk to your cousin up north. I know you got a cousin up north in town. And she's like, my husband doesn't like him. She says, this is not about your husband. I'm talking to you. She says, well, he doesn't want me talking to him. She said, fuck that. I don't know who writes the script for Rock, but they write some of the most amazing lines. A lot of them are real trashy, but they make a lot of sense. So anyway, Rock says, fuck him. I'm talking to you. If we moved our lips every time a man told us to, we would have a mouthful of dicks, and we wouldn't be able to say a thing. I have to agree with her. All right, next thing. Okay, back at Rock's place, she has a morning meeting with her 2 captains, her 2 brothers, Goofy Marvin and Lulu. And they say, you know what? We went to the re-up and Dean didn't show up. That's the first time in 5 years he's never showed up, not a call. So she saw some shit going down. Meanwhile, back at Unique, he also said there's some shit going down, but he knows more than Rock knows. So this is bad. Rock tells them, go to every distro we know, the little ones, and get all the product we can. We cannot lose our presence on the street. Rock is really pissed. And Lulu says, okay, but I got to go to my showcase tonight. And she's like, your showcase? And he says, but first I'll go to the distros, okay? So she walked out. She was still mad. After Rock leaves, Marvin looks over at Brother Lulu and says, fuck your bullshit showcase, nigga. He said, okay. He said, he stands up, he throws a flyer at him and says, your daughter Juki is headlining in my bullshit showcase. Oh, didn't know that, huh, motherfucker? Didn't even know. Your own daughter was in there. Marvin looked like a damn fool because he is a lousy parent. Uncle Lulu is much better with Juki than her own dad. That's that. Next. This is really serious. There is some really fucked up shit going on that she didn't get her re-up. So what does she do? She's got to take it to the boss. Mama Rock goes straight to see Dean. He hangs out down at the bingo place where his grandmother is. And when she walks in, he takes the earpiece off of his grandmother so she can't hear what they're saying. And she sits down and she wants to know what's up. And guess what? Dean was a man. Dean looked at her and said, our business affiliation is officially over. She's like, why? And he says, because I don't trust you. And part 2, your competitor Unique, he's paying 20% more on the dollar for your product. So I'm selling him your product and his. She said, what? She said, why would you do that? He said, like I said, I don't trust you. Ask Smurf. Smurf can attest to that. Now, y'all remember Smurf? Smurf was the dude that sold out Dean and told her about the re-up. So when she turned in Unique, he said, but unfortunately, Smurf can't be here. So he has killed Smurf. It is cold out there. She's like, he said, that's the end of our discussion. That's the end of our business. So she understood. She got up and walked her ass out. God damn, Mama Rock got problems. Where's she gonna get a new distro? Okay, she's scrambling. Next, Mama Rock shows up to meet that stupid city inspector, and he starts to make the moves on her, and she steps back and says, hey, this is a cash only deal. She drops a big wad of cash. Well, things didn't go right. Okay, things went left. Whew. This stupid man jumped up and choked Mama Rock against the wall and said, I decide what's going to go down. So they struggle, and he hit her in the stomach like fucking Joe Frazier. I mean, this man let her have a full-blown fist in the stomach. She doubles over. He falls back, and Mama Rock picks up the nearest weapon, which is a sledgehammer, and knocks the fucking hell out of him. Yay! He passes out. He's bleeding on the floor. She calls her henchman, Brother Marvin, to take care of it. Next. Well, let me tell you what Crazy Marvin did. Marvin got there, and the guy was conscious now. He made sure the guy was totally secured and tied up. He is a sicko psycho, more than I knew. Marvin put the man inside the wall, added new insulation all around him. Marvin puts new drywall up on the wall after he makes sure the man is dead, and sealed him in there. And it just shows you just how demented and nutty and psychotic Marvin is. Dangerous, okay? And that was the end of that inspector. I wonder when they're going to start looking for him. Probably in the next couple of weeks. Woo! Meanwhile, it's early evening and everybody is gathering at the showcase club, getting ready for the big showcase. And Lulu walks in with Jess, and he's smiling, and she like, you the man, because Lulu is fronting all the money. Lulu has really invested in Crown Comancho's business. So Mama Rock walks in and said, damn, you spending all our money. He said, Rock, we got to keep this clean. He tries to sell her on, we need one clean investment. That's what Ghost used to do, and that was smart. He said, let's keep this clean. She said, Unique gonna be in here selling shit all night. He said, no, I'm gonna make Unique stand down. I'm gonna make sure it happens. She says, yeah, right, bet. Mama walks out to go do some more business. And of course, I thought Lulu was smart, but he's kind of naive on who to trust. He goes to see Unique, and he talks to him man to man. And Unique is like, this motherfucker walked up in here, know we beefing, and walk up in my spot. He said, I come in peace. Man, I'm trying to have this clean set tonight at the showcase. Can you please not be dealing drugs in there tonight? Just do this for me. So Unique laughs and says, sure. As soon as Lulu walks out, Unique calls his top lieutenant from the back room who's listening, and of all people, Scrappy. He said, you and this turncoat motherfucker gonna go there and turn this motherfucker out tonight. So at the time, I thought he meant sell drugs or start some shit. But no, he sent them to put a hit on somebody. But at this point in the show, we don't know who it is. And Scrappy is looking crazy, and that's why I know Scrap was a turncoat. Scrap was a plant for Mama Rock, but I really think things are looking bad for Scrap. I said that last week. I'll tell you more about that later. Woo! Meanwhile, earlier that day, Detective Howard has taken a sick day off after 25 years, his first day off. And he shows up and surprises his white doctor on the street, the cancer doctor. She's like, wow! She see this black man. And he's like, hey, I need to ask you a question, hypothetically. He said, I need to know this. If I have a son, hypothetically, could he give me some bone marrow transplant that I need for this cancer? She said, definitely. It would help extend your life. This would be a half match by him being your son. How old is his hypothetical son? He says 15, 16. She said, the only thing is the parent has to agree. That would mean he'd have to get Rock's consent. Good luck with that shit. Okay, so she says, Detective, you don't look so well. And he's such a smart ass. He said, well, you know what? I'm fucking dying. Sorry. It's not funny. But that was the end of that. So now back at the police station, Detective Howard's little protege, she's so happy to learn he's off work, and she gets to hit the street alone. But they told her you could work in the office. She said, no, I'm going to hit the street. So the captain said, be careful out there. So the first thing she does is go around there stalking. And she spies, of all people, Juki and Nicole. They're laughing, and she can tell that these two girls are kind of in love. And they hug each other. And Nicole gets on the bus to go back uptown to her neighborhood. And Juki is still putting up flyers about the showcase, tonight's showcase. So, of course, this jive ass woman approaches Juki and says, "Hey, I need to talk to you." And Juke said, "Don't talk to me, 5-0. You know, Juke is street smart." Juke walks away. As soon as she walks away, this little chick, the little detective, she takes the flyer and she thinks, "Okay, I'm going to go to the show tonight." And she does. She goes and she sits outside the show in her little car all evening, hoping she can figure out who killed D Wiz and other stuff in the hood. Ain't nobody going to tell her nothing. But let her do it. She's stupid. Meanwhile, that afternoon, Kanan runs into Uncle Marvin. He says, "Uncle Marvin, let me holler at you." And they jump in the car and they take a ride. He takes them out to an expressway that leads into town and out. He says, "I have an idea. We can make some big money. White people just drive right through here and drive out the gas station. We have a drive-through. We make a lot of money." He says, "Well, your mother told me you're kryptonite. I cannot fuck with you, Kanan, even though you got a good idea, young man." He said, "But white people like that powder." He said, "Well, we need to educate white people." He said, "They always want to be down with black people." He said, "What's more down than crack?" Because that's what they pushing. This is the 90s. Like, damn. Ooh, this boy really is Kanan. Kanan to be. You can see it all in him. Okay, now later this afternoon, everybody's getting dressed for the party. Mama Rock and Kanan are both getting dressed. She's got on her sexy little red dress, and she's helping Kanan with his tie. She said, "Kanan, why you keep lying to me? You want to be in the game, but you're too much of a fucking liar. Why didn't you tell me that the police picked you up the other day?" He said, "Oh, I didn't want to, She said, "You will never be in the game if you keep lying that much to me." He said, "Well, how did you know?" She said, "Scrap told me." And that's the proof that Scrap is undercover over there working with Unique. He's still working with Rock. So that lets me know this shit ain't looking good for Scrap because he's undercover. So she said, "Scrap told me." She said, "He told me somebody else picked you up." Scrap didn't want to give it up. So Kanan had to give it up. He said, "It was Symphony." God damn. So Mama Rock is shocked and pissed to the hilt, and Kanan explains, I begged him to keep my secret." She said, "Fuck that. Symphony is a grown-ass man, and Symphony should have never, ever done that and not told me about it." So I know she's going to deal with Symphony later. I feel sorry for his ass. She is pissed to the hilt. Woo. Next. Okay, now it's time for the big showcase. It's time for Famous, the little rapper, to be introduced to the world. And he's excited. Everybody's excited. The MCs, the DJ. Jukebox is sick to her stomach in the back. So Kanan gets there and he finally meets Nicole and they really get along. And I like that. And she says, "Help me out." So Kanan goes back and talks Jukebox down, gets her calm. She comes out of the bathroom ready to perform. Crazy. Meanwhile, it's pretty ominous that Scrap and Unique's guy are sitting outside and they pull their weapons out and get them loaded because they got to start some shit. And then he tells him, "We got to go in here and take out somebody." He's like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, that's our orders." He's like, "All right, man." And then Scrap says, "You know what? We can't go through the front because they're checking guns," which they weren't. He said, "Let's go through the back." So they go through the back and break in the club and they go inside and they blend in with the crowd. The crowd is jumping. Everybody's at the club, including Marvin after he's gotten rid of the body and everything. And they all jumping and jamming, building up to the headline act, which is Famous. Even the crook is there, Unique's guy, and Scrap is standing in the back. So Lulu is standing up there with Jess. Everybody's up there, this and that. And Famous starts to rap. He starts getting down. But the person that just stole the show was Juki. Juki is damn talented. She was a hell of an MC, and she was a great rapper and a songstress. And she made Famous famous, if you ask me. So they jamming together. But Famous is rapping and singing, and Kanan's face is like, what? They're singing a song with the chant, "The streets need a body. The streets need a body." And this fucker Famous did something that Kanan didn't like. Kanan 50 Cent did a monologue at this point and said, "You know what? That's what a lot of rappers do, sing about shit that never happened to them." This dude made a rap about what had really happened to Kanan. He talked about the streets need a body, the stash house, every day I'm looking over my shoulder. It was all about shit that he knew that happened to Kanan and others. He looked Kanan right in the eye on stage and you could see it went sour. Kanan looked at him like, "You ain't shit," because he just didn't have no integrity in the rap. And that's what they say about a lot of rappers. They start singing about shit that never happened to them. And they're right. If it didn't happen to you, don't be claiming that. It's not a badge, but don't be claiming that to be tough and bullshitting people. I don't blame Kanan. He was just turned off by Famous at that point. Now, check this out. Finally, Unique's guy reveals to Scrap while he's standing up there locked and loaded, we got to take out Lulu. And Scrap is like, what the fuck? He's got to think on his feet. Lulu happens to turn around and Scrap gives him a signal. And Lulu just makes a big fucking melee. He turns to somebody and says, Southside, and hits somebody. Everybody starts fighting. Everybody has to run. They turn out the whole joint. And Lulu escapes with his girlfriend, Jess. Unique Sky and Scrap, they escape through the back door. And he says, hold up, Scrap. Scrap turns around and he got a gun on him. He says, motherfucker, I wasn't born yesterday. Unique told us that you was a fucking plant and that you would turn on us tonight, just like he thought. So at that point, he took him back at gunpoint to Unique's. Well, like I said, during the melee, everybody got out of the club safe, and everybody, for some reason, got excited and wanted to get it on with somebody. So Lulu gets it on in the limo in the back with Jess. Meanwhile, Kanan goes to Davina's house. He misses her, and she gets it on with Kanan. And I think it's his first time. But what I liked about it was she stopped him. She got a condom out the drawer, and they used it. Good girl. Now, Juki is on the bus with Nicole because she got to travel back with her to the white girl's home just to make sure she gets home safe. And they're making out on the bus. Now, the only person that ain't making out is, you guessed it, Mama Rock. It's terrible. Because earlier, Mama Rock was at the club before the melee started. And Symphony walked in to buy her a drink, and she looked at him like, get the fuck away from me. And she ran out of the club on fire. He caught outside. I said, I'm sorry. He's smart. He knew what it was about. And she said, I told you never, ever to fucking come between me and my son. Just because you fucking me don't make you my son's father. Symphony's like, he was out. She looked at him so mean, like, you don't know who the fuck I am. And just at that moment, I think he did realize how dangerous and who she was. But what I saw in this great acting was Rock was really hurt, but she knew because all her shit was fucked up and going on in the street. This was too much to get this man involved in. I think Rock quit Symphony to save his life. I do. It was unspoken words, but the way he looked at her, he kept, at one point he stopped in mid-sentence. He knew what she was doing. She was saying, get away from me. I'm a dangerous motherfucker, and people get hurt around me, and I love you too much, so I'm going to let you go. Like a caged bird, she let him go. Symphony stopped, and he walked away, and it was sad. So that was the end of Symphony. Now remember, Mama Rock is on fire. She just let the best man she ever had go. And she sees that white detective sitting in the car watching them. She walked over there and said, where's your partner? She said, he took off work today. She said, you tell that motherfucker, Detective Howard, that the worst place for a person to be is between a mother and her child. She said, I don't know. She said, he'll know what it fucking means. So she sent a message to Detective Howard, don't come fucking with me about my son. But she don't know about Detective Howard's leukemia and that he needs that marrow transplant. Back at the house, Mama Rock is sitting in her silk pajamas, worried to death, and she goes to bed. Kanan comes in late creeping because he didn't get his first piece. And all of a fucking sudden, there's a loud screech outside of a car, and there's a gunshot, and they said, here's your boy, bitch. And they drive off, and Mama Rock jumps out the bed, grabs her gun. Kanan's running right behind her downstairs. They open the front door, and you guessed it. It's poor Scrappy, completely unclothed, just down to his undies. They have beat the living hell out of him. He's bloody, beaten, swollen, and now he's got a fresh bullet hole in his head. He's bleeding all over the front sidewalk in front of Mama Rock's house. That's what he got for being in bed and being her captain. So I see the symmetry in the whole thing. And that's why she let her boyfriend go, because that's probably what happened to him too, since she loved him. Terrible. Scrappy's gone, y'all. Streets got to claim a body. And this week it was Scrap. Next. And of course, next week will be a continuation of the beef between her and Unique. She just got to watch her back with his ass while she makes some other connections, because there's some other distros out there. Somebody want to sell it to her. And you know what? Kanan may have the most freshest idea to get them on that crack and on the drive-through. That's something they ain't touched on yet. So Kanan may be the person that started that in that area, historically. If she doesn't get a brand new distro soon, I think Rock's organization will die. but I don't think that's going to happen. That's why Kanan was a legend in Ghost, because Kanan had his shit together. So Rock must have been saved somehow at some point. And in the very end, I said it from the beginning, Rock is either going to jail or going to get murdered. And Kanan's going to take over and rise to power.
Wow, it was a powerhouse episode. Now we see Unique and Rock predicted in this episode that some shit was going down in the street. Unique really bested Rock, and I didn't even see it coming when he bought off Dean with the money, with the re-up. So Rock is out of the game temporarily, but she's got some other distros out there somewhere. Rock got something up her sleeve, an ace. But I do believe by the end of book 4, Rock will be in jail or dead. I just see it coming, and Kanan gonna be on his own, the Kanan that we know. The real Kanan, the grown 50 cents. But that's it, that's all. Make sure you're right back here next week at this time to get the 411 on First Thoughts with Faye Renee, Power Book 3, Episode 7. I'll see you then. Check you later. Bye.